The forearm is the backbone of the punch. If it wasn't, explain this. And Luke has forearms to spare, and with this guide we will load up the Flash Knuckle and pale ride ourselves all the way to the very top. Probably. But before we get into things, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, pale ride the bell thingy, and follow me on the Twitch and Twitters for all your gaming needs. Now with that said, I am Tech, and this is my guide to being the best Luke player you can possibly be. Probably. Now Luke is the flagship protagonist of Street Fighter 6, offering a nice pick up and play style that offers rewards for some precision timing. But let's talk moves for now. For key attacks and strings, we start with Triple Impact. This target combo, performed by light into medium into heavy punch, is special cancelable on both the first and last hit, with the initial light punch having some okay amount of gap closing. Plus it's safe on block, while rushing will give you an advantage for some tick throw action. Can't say the same for the full string like, so you're going to want to cancel into something a little more safer. Still, more on that later. Now standing light kick has good range for a light. It's special cancelable with some decent options. Rush can go a long way either as a start or 3-bar extension, and again it's safe on block. Next up, the snapback combo, performed with 4 medium punches. This target combo is a strong punish tool, with the first 2 attacks being super cancelable. Probably don't want to use this on block, as only the initial medium punch is safe, with it being plus on rush. Anything else is gonna see you get wrecked. Still, having the ability to go into super off a regular string is always nice. Plus it's a great hit confirm option to go for the full string and get that knockdown to set up your pressure. His unique attack, Rawhide, is your overhead for this evening. It's a little slow on startup, but pretty much safe on block. It has the ability to knock down aerial opponents in specific situations, but its biggest feature is thanks to the drive rush. This allows Rawhide on hit to combo into something like Crouching Medium Punch, which is special cancelable, advantageous on block, with a decent enough startup and range that's almost on par with his standing light. This itself can link into most of his light attacks out the box, standing light kick being the more forgiving, and for 4 bars can give a decent yet tricky damage payoff. Now medium kick, while not a cancelable attack, is one of his best pokes in the game. Safe on block, and while you can't do much from it, it's an easy way to range check an enemy. Just be careful around the geefs. Now onto the heavies, and standing heavy punch has a fair amount of gap closing. It's special cancelable, but unsafe on block. Still, on rush or punish, it can allow for certain specials to combo where they wouldn't have done before. So it's a great little gap closer indeed. Crouching heavy punch is one of your best anti-air options, albeit a stubby one. Pretty much death on block and has a really strict cancel window, but it is the only natural way to lead into your meterless combos. Plus it can link off a rush or punishing crouching medium punch, or even the crouching medium kick via a rush cancel. So for 3 to 4 bars you land that low, you have a fairly easy combo route. Heavy kick is another great advancing tool, as on punish it will launch the opponent up for combos. Only problem is it can be fairly bad if blocked. Best get used to finding the sweet spot range wise to mitigate that. This is a good one. Now outlaw kick, or away heavy kick, is another powerful punisher, as it will cause a nice bit of stagger on punish, while also having the ability to pop the opponent up for a combo if used as an anti-air. Not all that safe on block though. It's also your optimal damage route with drive, as the drive or punish version will link into crouching heavy punch, which you can rush cancel back into outlaw kick, rinse and repeat. Seriously, that's really strong stuff. Thank you for your patience, and we finish the normals off, as always, with the jump-in attacks, which is mostly the jump-in mediums, as they are probably the most standout. Jump-in medium punch is his key air-to-air, as it can set up for a mid-air juggle, while medium kick is your go-to cross-up tool. You jump over your opponent, go for the medium kick, and that little pixel of a knee will connect. crossing the opponent up, and allow you to land some bread and butter combo for some decent damage. For specials, we start with Sandblast, Luke's projectile. It has a slow startup, counterbalanced by the fact that it's fast as fuck. Range increases depending on the variation, with the heavy and overdrive versions being almost full screen and the only two versions safe on block. For an extra drive bar, the overdrive version has a follow-up called Fatal Shot, dealing more damage and having a better knockdown. Just don't go for it on block up close. Now, Sandblast is your main zoning tool. It's not the best out there, but if you have some distance against your opponent, you blast those sands in and make the opponent work for that close-up and personal. Next, we have Rising Uppercut, the classic Street Fighter anti-air. Massively unsafe on block, but the highest damaging ender you have without using meter. Its biggest issue though is the range. You see, Luke is more of a standing vertical leap kind of guy, so you just go up as opposed to forward. Still, the overdrive version is invincible on startup and has a nice little follow-up for an extra bar in Slam Dunk, giving even more damage to cash out. If your opponent has a gap in his block string and you know an attack's going to come out, Invincible Uppercut is going to get everything into your favour again. Now, Flash Knuckle is Luke's main mechanic feature. Each variation of the attack has different properties, but all can be charged and cancelled into your level 3 super. The light version is an uppercut that has a fairly fast startup, and while being pretty much death on block, when it's charged, it is your key meterless combo starter, and is easily cancelled into off the crouching heavy punch or a rushed standing heavy punch. The medium version is a straight punch that's death on block, but on hit will give enough pushback and frame advantage on a standing opponent to walk up and give a cheeky little throw for a reset. If used in a juggle, it's a great ender to gain some distance for more zony goodness. But it's the charged version that has some real impact. Outside of making the attack safe on block, the fully charged punch will make Captain Falcon cry with joy as it bounces the opponent into a wall for an interesting combo setup. Now, the heavy version is this crazy arcing punch that is just unsafe on block, but does fairly decent damage and has a lot of gap closing potential. Plus, it's the best way to get your level 3 super fairly easy. The charged version deals a lot of damage and is advantageous on block, meaning it's a decent enough bait tool for the old drive impact. Charge it up, and if they react in kind with the drive impact, on landing the punch you can cancel into that level 3 super so long as you have the meter, and make them regret ever doing it. The heavy version is also your go-to combo ender. You land this to get knocked down and you're in a good position to go for a drive rush or whatever you want to do. Lastly, the overdrive version is your easy pop-up for combos. Stupidly death on block, but can combo from almost any special cancelable normal. Now, once you've popped the opponent up, there's not much you can really do. You can't rush in and use an attack, it doesn't seem to work that way. You can use a special like Rising Uppercut to gain some easy damage, or for even easier damage, the heavy Flash Knuckle. Now, if you were to use the overdrive knuckle off triple impact in the corner, you can use Sandblast and go into Rising Uppercut there for a really nice little conversion. But if you like yourself some hard knockdowns, for an extra bar you can follow the first hit with the classic DDT, dealing the most damage of any of his specials. The only issue is that the opponent has to have their feet rooted to the floor, so no juggle combos. It's a bit of a loss, but you can get some great rush setups from the hard knockdown, so it has its uses, and you can also get the DDT off the punished heavy kicks knuckle. You go for the overdrive knuckle as they fall into the floor, the impact will count as their feet are on the floor, and you get the DDT. It's the only knockup that has this workaround. Now let's go all the way back and talk about the precision aspect of Luke I alluded to earlier. You see this little flash in each of the charged versions? That isn't for show. No. That is a sweet spot, and if you release the button on that flash or within that flash window, the blast from his fist will have a purple hue, and Luke will say, "The perfect flash knuckles offer more height or bounce or damage than just the full charged ones. allowing for some crazy meter-friendly combos. For example, if you just fully charge the light version, the following rushing crouch heavy punch into a charged or perfect medium flash punch will not connect. To get anything off that crouch heavy, you're going to need the overdrive knuckle. But the perfect version pops the enemy that teeny bit higher. And now this will work, allowing you to finish with the heavy flash punch to place them full screen with enough time for you to rush in. This is Luke shenanigans. This is what separates the casual Luke mains from the successful ones. Now Flash Knuckle can also be done in the air, and all pretty much act the same way. Regular is a straight punch, while the charged version is this horizontal uppercut. There's no perfect sweet spot here, but the overdrive version delivers the uppercut with no need to charge. This is more your corner combo super setup, but I'll talk more of this when we talk about the relevant supers. The last special is Avenger, and it's shit. This move is a sort of stance style dash that has two outcomes. You can't cancel it like characters who have similar can, so you have to commit to either. The punch option, no chaser, is a shoulder tackle that is unsafe on block. This is including the overdrive version. And all it's really good for is getting into a super. But you trade a crap load of damage if you start that combo with this. The same goes for the kick option, Impaler, that, while being an overhead again, is pretty much useless. Sure, the right spacing or timing you can make it safe, but there's already an overhead move that is around the same speed as Avenger into Impaler. Now if no chaser was like a low slide kick or hell, similar to say TN's volleyball fist, then yeah, this would be a great little mix-up cancel. But without that low, we have two unsafe moves that don't really add much outside of damage conversion. Okay, nearly at the final third. Let's talk supers. His level 1 Super Vulcan Blast is pretty much his V-trigger skill from Street Fighter V promoted. This has Luke send multiple sandblasts out before the big gadoosh, crashing the opponent into the wall. Range is decent with the final blast travelling full screen, but like all supers in general, massively unsafe on block, so try not to throw this out raw unless you're catching them mid-move. Now at level 2 we have Eraser, Luke's critical art in Street Fighter V, now demoted to his level 2. Very short range but very fast, and is his invincibility super, meaning this can be tradings. But it's his easy corner combo ender and a great screen carry. In fact, with the right setup you can do some big damage and carry the opponent from one corner of the map all the way to the other. Finally, his level 3 is not really something that I can just go into much detail on, as level 3 supers are nothing more, nothing less than big damage. His startup is a little slow, and while it looks like a grab or throw, it definitely isn't. Which is good in the sense that it can combo, but bad in that all supers are death on block. Now remember when I said we'd come back to the Flash Knuckle shenanigans? Well, if you pop the perfect light Flash Knuckle in the corner, you'll be able to land the jumping medium punch, and on the last cancel frame possible, go into the air knuckle. Now you have to charge it slightly. We don't want the uppercut, just the jab as late as it possibly can. And as you land, you can input your super and boom! We got some hefty damage and drained drive bar from the opponent. Now the level 2 super is the easiest to land from this and requires less strict timing of the air knuckle, but that level 3 is also possible, and with the critical art can lead to some massive numbers. And that's what I like about this character, as overall Luke, while offering an easy to pick up character, has so much reward for knowing that timing and precision. While a new player can deal fair amounts of damage with some easy meter spending, a player that takes time to learn the timings and get them all down can deal way more for less resources. My only real issue with him is, well, his combo structure. That wall bounce from the medium charged or perfect knuckle is so dependent on your arena placement that the slightest centimeter too close to the opponent's corner can alter your combo route. You may have to omit a move, alter your ender, and while this isn't too new, obviously we've had mid-screen and corner combos after all, this little consistency hurdle means new players will have a lot more to get their head around. Then there's the fact he needs meter to trade the projectile wars. Compared to the other projectile users, he gets the short end of the stick. Hell, it's only Chun-Li who shares his pain, but still he has a solid base, and one you can easily work with. You have some rangy forearm enhanced punches, learn them. Keep some space and use your sandblasts as best you can to frustrate the opponent. Yeah, if they have projectiles, you're just going to keep those balls from hitting you. But remember, you don't need as much meter compared to the rest of the roster. You have easy big damage for half the gauge. So use what you do have to guarantee your offense. They're trying for block strings? OD uppercut, rush in to get some mix-ups going. You're both trading projectiles? OD sandblast, get the conversion. Get yourself moved up. Keep this in mind, and you'll show that you're always ready for a fight. And if you want me to always be ready to drop these guides, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, flash knuckle the bell thingy, and follow me on the Twitch and Twitters. Also, if you have any tips or tricks you found yourself, or just want to tell me who your favourite character is, let us know in the comment section below. And finally, tune in next time where we'll go with a random Street Fighter character. I think this is the best way to approach this. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, claim skulls, smash bosses, and break records.
Started from the bottom and I'll never look back. Look at all my haters, y'all making